Hello, hello. Nice to see you. To see you, nice. Hope you are having a nice day, or morning, or evening, whatever time it is there. I've had a nice day here. I've done 4 writing sessions. So I have to do timer, like the way that I do it is I time myself for 45 or 50 minutes. And then I write for that period and then I stop and have a break. And I've helped my mum lay bark. And I've walked the dogs. And I've watched some latest British news about Brexit. Which I should stop doing, but it just fascinates me. Like it's more about people's mentality. I think that a lot of the people that are in British politics at the moment have very low to little empathy. And I find that interesting. And I find that very hard right-wing mentality interesting as well. Like that extreme philosophy. And I find it really interesting how the extreme right is managing to get votes from people that they're actively damaging. It's really clever, the advertising campaign. I find that very interesting. Like that they're managing to get lower working class, not that there's that much working class, but like worker class or poorer people of society or vulnerable people of society to vote for them. And it's those people that will actually be worse off by voting them in. Like especially if we privatise our healthcare system. It's funny, it really interests me, this mentality. How vulnerable people are very attracted to people without empathy. This is often the case. It's in the same in spirituality that vulnerable people are often attracted to like people who I perceive as having very low empathy. So these cult leaders or very big organizations, normally the figurehead just doesn't, in my mind, doesn't seem to have the capacity to have empathy. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Anyway, it's the end of that. I always like to start my talks with silence, so let's have a little bit of silence. think I just have to open the door because it's going to keep rattling if I don't open it. So nice. So I've forgotten the name of the title actually. Let me just look again. So the title is Does Non-duality lead to a peaceful person? That's the title of the talk tonight. Just some advertisements before we get started. This is going to be my last talk for the whole of August. I'm going to take a break for August, so I will be resuming exactly 1 month. I think it's like the 4th. What day is it today? 31st. And I think I will resume on the 4th of September or something like that, but it's on my website, so you can find that information there. And if you want to join an event, you can still come to the event in August the 9th to the 16th. There's still places. I'm not sure if there's places left in the hotel, but you can stay outside the hotel or on a campsite. Sorry, my mum is just leaving for Keep Fit. I'm staying with my mum, so you might hear someone talking in the background. So does non-duality lead to a peaceful person? In some regards, yes, and in some regards, no. So in some regards, like when you're like really lost in the matrix and lost in the dream and really believe that everything's real, then it tends to produce like a lot of compulsive thinking and a lot of negative thinking as well. And the reason it produces negative thinking is because our minds are designed to work out problems and to understand problems. So you and your life become a problem, because the more you encourage that thinking mind, the more that it looks at things and thinks, this is a problem, I've got to fix it. And as you begin to see that all of that's not real and that's not truth, then I think it settles the body-mind mechanism down, and it stops the mind thinking as much as it does, or as much as it did. And it also, in this spiritual path, you tend to get to know yourself better, so you get to know what your limits are, what your boundaries are, what you want, what you don't want. Sorry, just my mum. So, and also, I'll sit back again. So it does tend to make the person more peaceful. So it becomes a lot more simpler, or in my experience, it becomes a lot more simpler. So your motivations, your body, and what you feel and what you want is more obvious and more apparent. So that makes communication with others easier. But that's an effect that isn't fixed. So it's an effect that happens in the person, but it's not what non-duality is about. And it's not the case in all people. Like, say if you have awakening when you're a lot older, then maybe it's your personality structure is more ingrained and more tough and more hard, and you have more of a sense of a person on the human level, and it comes up more in conflict with life. But overall, yeah, for sure, I would say that non-duality makes you more peaceful, but not perfect. Maybe it does some people. I was watching a video of someone speak this morning, and they were talking about how in a very many years they've never had any discomfort, and I can't say if that's true or not, but that's not the case here. I get discomfort just now when my mum kept coming in and out of the hallway. I found it a little uncomfortable because I can't keep the door shut because it keeps blowing in the wind, like it's rattling. I could have maybe tried to stuff something under the door to stop it, but I didn't think of that. So in my body, in that moment when my mum was coming in and out, there was a little bit of discomfort in my throat, more than likely because it was wanting to express to her, look, I'm doing a session. And then there was another part of like holding that back, like not expressing that because it wasn't appropriate to express it to her. It's hard because it was like it with my dad as well. They really can't grasp the concept that I work on the internet. They can't grasp that. My dad, when he was alive as well, my dad was better. Like, they know it, but they also can't grasp it. So I can tell them a million times, and they still can't really get it, that there's people in there watching. So there was a little bit of that, like this energy that wanted to say something, but another energy that knew that she was trying her best and she'd be gone in a moment. And maybe a little bit of embarrassment as well, that like there's like 100 people and most probably like 2,000 people that are going to watch this, and they can hear my mum talking to the dogs. Like, not embarrassment that she's talking to them, but like just embarrassment more for me. Like, I've tried to give this serious talk about non-duality and then my mum's hovering in the background. It reminds me a bit of the comedy, I don't know if you've seen it, called The Big Bang Theory. I've just been watching this on Netflix. I've been really enjoying it, and it reminds me of Howard and his mum. Like, the one that I watched the other night was when he was on Skype to NASA, and his mum kept calling up, "Your breakfast is ready. Your Fruit Loops are waiting for you." And he's like, "Fine, I'll get in a minute. But you got Fruit Loops." And in the end, they end up giving him the nickname Fruit Loops. Yeah. And to me, I feel like I will always have feelings. There's never going to be a time when I don't have feelings in the human body. And if I had a choice between if I felt or if I didn't, I think I would choose to feel even those uncomfortable feelings of my mom. I think I would choose to feel it. I don't think I would choose to constantly have pleasure. Just let me check in with that feeling. See if I'm being honest or if I'm telling myself a porky pie. Porky pie. It's not even that I would want to feel it or not want to feel it. It's just a deep knowing that that's how I navigate this world, is through my feeling body. And it's just part of this. Like, it's not even about a want or desire to have it or to not have it. It's that it helps me navigate. And if I didn't have painful feelings, then I would most probably do loads of like unethical things and not very nice things if I just constantly had pleasurable feelings. It's not even rational like that. It's just the way this instrument's set up, is that when you feel pain. So if my mum kept doing that, like kept speaking in my sessions, we'd have to have the conversation again, which has happened a little bit lately. So we maybe have to have the conversation again about what I do. And then that puts up the boundary. And yeah. And I don't always get it right. Like, I don't always get the boundaries right with people. It's not like my body always seems to know exactly the right boundaries, but then the thinking mind gets involved and confuses it. Or the thinking mind, or the body doesn't act. It knows the boundary, but it doesn't act. So what is the freedom then, if it's not personal? Like, it does have an effect, so there is an effect in the body-mind. And what you think when you're seeking for the subject is, you think that's what you want healed. You want the pleasure and pain. You want to no longer have painful experience. You want only pleasure, and you want to get rid of any negative thinking or any difficulties or complexities, and you just want pleasure. But actually, it's not what you want. What you want is this deep rest of who you are, which is beyond that. It's knowing who you are in every moment. So who are you? And in a way, like like when I speak about this subject, I always feel like I could end up just not speaking, because everything you say isn't quite right. Like, I even feel sad because I can see how just in saying what you want is the freedom of who you are, it's selling you another goodie that's like, oh wow, yes, what I truly am. I'm going to make it to this place one day of who I truly am. And it's actually not even about that person making it to who they truly are. It's about this moment. It's about what's actually happening. It's not about you achieving or you getting something or you arriving somewhere. But that is all you look for, is the end of seeking. It's not actually an activity that you get. It's just a surrendering back into what you are right now. But maybe that's not what you actually want. What you want is, you want something for you. You want pleasure. You want to know how to deal with your dysfunction better. You want to know how to deal with a nagging thought, or how to relax yourself, which we can talk about later on in the talk, but this is about something that's prior to that, something that's beyond you. It's so incomprehensible to the mind. But just notice that there is this mind thinking, there's this body feeling, there is sensations happening, and there's something that's experiencing all of that, that isn't separate from it. And you could call this love. It knows itself. Like life knows itself. What we think on the human level, what most people think, is that they know themselves. They as the person, they as this thought structure know themselves. But actually, there is this person that appears with feelings and thoughts, but there's something that knows that. You, who you think yourself to be, is not alive. Who you think yourself to be is lots of thoughts and feelings and impulses arriving in this, here, right now. In this massive, infinite space. And that person is always telling stories of who it is. And it's always trying to erect who it is and put a flag in and stand by and be like, me! All the time. Everything is about you and how it affects you and how you feel. What you want. Yeah, bop, 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 bop. You, you. And then that appears in something that isn't separate. So the assumption is that the seeing and the seen are separate, that the hearing and the heard are separate, the hearing and the sound are separate, that the feeling and the felt are separate. Whereas actually it's one energy experiencing itself that's free. And this is love. It's like walking around inside yourself. It's not walking in relationship to something. That's what the mind is always telling you. That's what the thoughts are always telling you. I'm something inside here and I'm in relationship to another outside there. But actually there isn't something, a subject in relationship to an object. There is one energy experiencing itself. So everything you see and feel and experience is you, but not you as the personality structure, you as that big you. It's so close and it's so intimate. And it's creator of all. Your essence is the creator of all. Or maybe I go to questions now. Let's see. Hi, Geraldine. There is absolutely no questions. Am I still live? Amazing. Everybody's on holiday. That's really amazing. Some questions arise. Maybe we are at the end of seeking and just delighted. We delight the moment. Yeah, maybe that's what I felt. Hey Greg. Hi Lisa, first time on here for me. Loved your talk on empathy. I watched it last night. I think I might be an empath, been working with someone who really drains me. Any advice on how to tell if I am an empath? How do you deal with people who aren't? The way that you tell that you're an empath is you know, because your whole life you've always felt overly responsible for everybody else's emotions. So like, I'll give you an example. So I remember when I was a kid, my mum always used to pack me a really good lunchbox. I was a little bit plumpy, and I always used to have a really nice lunchbox. I had a nice box, and then inside of it I used to have like my sandwich, packet of crisps, sweets and fruit. And when it came to break time, so in break time we were allowed to, the first break, we were always allowed to have one thing from our packed lunchbox, and I always had crisps, and I always used to get my crisps, potato chips I think for Americans. I always used to get my crisps, and I would always be like, oh, you have to share them. And everybody else in the class, like everyone else would be quite stingy and not share. And when somebody asked if they could have my crisps, I always felt sorry for them. I always felt this like empathy for them, like this big compassion, like that they didn't have any food and I did. And I just had to share. So it was always like I'd open my lunchbox, I'd be excited, and I'd be like, I have to share. And it wasn't so much because I'd been taught I had to share, it was because I felt sad that the other person felt sad that they didn't have food. Like I knew that feeling of not having food and being left out, and I just felt sorry for them. But that's just one thing out of many. But it's constant, like not saying no to people because I feel sorry for them, or not telling them they've upset me because I feel sorry for them. And it's like a deep feeling in my body, like I feel compassion for them and I feel sorry for them. I'm not saying it's balanced, like it's something I've had to work on to try and get better at negotiating this world. It's not that I feel sorry for them, I just feel like their feelings, like I feel their heartache. So if I'm talking with someone in conversation and I don't feel like talking anymore, I feel their discomfort or their hurt. If I say to them I don't want to talk anymore, I feel like sitting in silence, like as they hurt, I feel it of them and I feel compassion for them and empathy. Yeah, and not normally empaths have done things for other people, not to get attention or to be liked, but done it because of that reason, that you feel like you feel sorry, you feel sad for the other person if they're hurt or if they're upset, not because you want to be liked or because you want something in return, but simply because you feel their feelings. And that's not a balanced thing necessarily. Like it's really beautiful, but it's also not balanced as well, because we have to all make up boundaries and negotiate the space, and doing something because you feel compassion for someone's not always the best way to act. So say if they're a person that's often dependent on other people doing things for them, then it's most probably not the best thing to help them, it's like enabled helplessness. So you know that you're an empath, and it's so strong, and you go into other people's rooms. Like yesterday I went to the shops, and this can happen often when I go shopping, is that I get this uncomfortable feeling in my chest and in my shoulders, and it's not my feeling, it doesn't have an emotion in it, and it's like this tightness, like I almost feel like I'm feeling people's like fear of money, or like longing for things that they can't have or something, I don't know. But that's quite common in big shopping places, like this collective tension. Often empaths can seem a little crazy because they're not confident in what they say or what they feel, because people will often deny to them. So say if somebody's feeling, say if you're in a room with someone that's feeling angry and you're an empath and you can feel that person's angry, and then you try to engage them in conversation and ask them if they're angry. Often other people don't want to reveal their cards of how they feel, so they'll deny it. So an empath is often like reluctant to make absolutes, and maybe quite often easily to manipulate as well. There's like an innocence there, there's like a sweetness there in that, but they're often quite easy to manipulate because they've grown up always, their empathic skills always being denied. So yeah, so let's say you know. And how to deal with it. the best way to deal with it is just really getting to know your body, get to know your body and realize what it is that your body wants and doesn't want in detail, and have confidence in following what you want. That is the best situation, even if it hurts the other person. Like if you feel like you need to stop talking, then try to have the confidence to say that. Because often an empath won't say that because they don't want to hurt the other person, but try to have confidence in the idea that maybe it's the best thing to happen. Maybe it's worse if you carry on letting them talk or something. Like trust that your body has compassion and empathy and it knows what it's doing. And just really pay attention to what it is your body wants and doesn't want. Like really get used to the subtleties of like when it wants to go forward and when it doesn't. And you notice it by pain and pleasure. Like also, for another example from me, just because it makes it easy giving examples from me because I experience them. So like I can feel like strongly, like today, I can feel strongly when somebody wants me to do something and I don't want to do it. And it's just, I find now, because I'm so clear and I'm not blaming or I'm not in lots of rage or hatred or like lots of emotions, so it's really hard to detect what's happening. Like I can really feel when I don't want to do something. And then as soon as today I said to the person, I don't want to do this, like it felt like instantly, like my whole sensation in my body changed. Like when we were trying to do it, I began to feel depleted and tired. And then when I said I don't want to do this, I just feel like that was the right thing. That's what the body wanted. And it doesn't always make sense. It takes a lot of bravery to follow it as well. So it's like it's moving your attention. So when you're identified like totally, your attention predominantly is up here. And then when you have an awakening, often your attention goes all out into the world. So it's like totally empty and there's no sensation of the person left. It's just like everything, and it's miraculous. And then you want to come to rest where it's like your attention is like predominantly out in everything. So you're everything, but then you also have like a sense of what the body feels, and your attention is predominantly in the body. It listens to thinking, but all the chakras have even amount of attention, and you know what's going on. Thank you for your question. Hi Lisa, I just wanted to say thank you for the talk, Jordan. Oh, with pleasure, Jordan. Do not you feel the urge to be violent when confronted with lies and injustice? Do I feel the urge to be violent? I will call you in a moment, Ronald. I wouldn't say there's the urge to be violent. One time when I caught somebody out really, really lying, like really terrible lies, I felt, it's confusing because I didn't feel like this was my feelings, but you might think that I'm trying to avoid something, but I'm so sensitive to everybody's feelings. If you're an empath, you'll understand. I felt like they wanted me to beat up on them and to hate them and to be violent against them. I feel like when somebody really lies and is really unjust and really does like really terrible things to other people, I feel like there is a part of them that is already punishing themselves in some way. Like they already see themselves as a liar and a cheat, even though there's another part that doesn't care and is bigger than that. There's another part that hates himself as well. And so one time when I caught someone out, I had this feeling like they wanted that. Like I kept like like I kept feeling this feeling that is like the normal response, like to be really violent against that person. Like in our society, you know, or in some societies, you know, we really punish people that do things wrong, that lie and cheat. Like we really punish this type of behavior, and we really despise it and hate it. And I feel like that's the collective consciousness of what society wants to do. Is to really hurt people that are unjust, because we have such a righteous sense of justice. Like when I was reading this book recently called, I'm sure you've all seen it, The Hunger Games. The whole book is about rectifying injustice. And I could really feel that wave of what we have in humanity, like rectifying injustice. Like a lot of our consciousness goes onto that in politics, in spirituality, even in books that we read. And it was so intriguing to try and read if she would overcome injustice. So I think it's very strong. And so that was one time when that person, I had like this feeling that they wanted me to be like this feeling of violence, but I feel like it was their feeling. I don't feel like it was mine. But apart from that, no, what I have when somebody lies or cheated is what I want, or the desire that arises in me is that I want them to confess, or I want them to be honest. And I presume that's why people are violent against people that lie, because or want to be violent against people that lie, because really what you want is you want them to confess and to be honest, to just tell the truth. And the reason that we want that is because to be truthful, and why lying is such like a horrendous act. It's very violent lying. Like we all lie to an extent. We can't help it because we can't remember what happened, and we tell little tiny lies sometimes because of embarrassment or compassion. But this is like big lies we're talking about here, like cheating on your partner and lying to them about it when they ask you, have you cheated on me? And they say no. The reason that we dislike it so much is that it can make people feel insane, because all of us have empathy and all of us are very sensitive to our environment. There is a few people in society that I suspect aren't, but most people are. And when somebody lies to you on a grand scale, it makes you feel mentally insane. Like if you've ever been with somebody that's lied or cheated to you, like you begin to have feelings that they're lying, but you don't imagine that they could do that. Like we're so trusting, most people. And it begins to make us feel insane. It begins to make us feel bad about ourselves, that we're having thoughts about this person, or that we suspect this person. And it's really cruel if you keep repetitively lying to somebody that you love. It's a very cruel act. It can send them insane, like feelings of being insane, because they can feel that there's something, and then they keep getting their reality denied. It's like if I put it as an imagination for people, it's like say there's a child. So say I'm sitting here with a child, and there's 4 sofas in this room. You can't see, but there is 4 sofas. Khaleesi is going mad over an insect, if you can hear her. And say this child is sitting next to me, and this child says there's 4 sofas, and I keep saying to her, no, there's 3. There's 3 sofas. And she keeps saying, no, there's 4 sofas, there's 4. And I keep telling her it's 3. Eventually she'll cave in, more than likely, because I'm the adult, and she'll believe me there's only 3 sofas. But it's beginning to create insanity in that child. It's what it's doing is it's denying that child's reality. So the way that our minds think is it thinks logically, and we make these stories in order to navigate an environment. But if we keep telling the other person that they're wrong in their environment, then their ability to make stories crumbles. So I was reading one study that, oh, it's not a study, but I was reading from Carl Jung. He said that if you find out after 40 years that your partner's been lying and cheating to you the whole time, it can have 2 effects. It can, 1, make you go insane, because you cannot formulate a story of yourself and a story of your life. You no longer know what is real or what is happening. and 2, it can give you a spiritual awakening. And I think it's really true. I think that lying is a far more violent act on people than we give credit in our society, because you're denying somebody's perspective on reality, which is playing with their thoughts. So say if I take this little girl again and say I'm her mother, and I keep arguing with my husband, but I don't want the little girl to know. So when the little girl asks me about it, I keep denying to the little girl that I'm arguing with the husband. This is telling this little girl that she can't trust what she thinks, she can't trust what she feels, she can't trust what she experiences, that they're wrong. And so she begins to doubt herself. And this creates the mind going crazy, because the mind keeps saying, no, it is right, no, it's wrong, it's right. And it creates this insanity. And it happens to a lot of people in society. A lot of people do this because they don't know what they feel, they don't know what they experience, so they don't communicate it accurately to the other person. And also because they don't know how else to be, that's the way they've been taught. So it's like our thoughts work logically. So if you keep denying those thoughts, then it begins to make that person believe that they can't trust their thoughts and they can't trust their experience, which is very destabilizing. It leads to insanity. So I think this is why people have such anger towards lies and injustice, because it is really horrible to do that to someone, especially someone you love, which is what most people do it to. It's that you're in love with someone and then you do it to someone you love, or your children. Never deny someone's reality. Try to be as honest and genuine as you can be, even though it's painful. Like sometimes I think I must sound a bit crazy in my talks because I try to be so honest. Like I couldn't, like even in the answer to you, I had to tell you about that one story where I was sitting with someone who had been lying to me a lot, and then I imagined this violence, and it's so small in comparison to like the last 10 years. But I had to say that because you asked that question. I had to be really precise. But it sounds really weird, that story, to say to you, because if you're not an empath, you most probably think she's in denial. It's her thoughts, it's her feelings. But I'm pretty sure that was their feelings. Like it's all the time when you're an empath that you're feeling other people's feelings and thoughts. Hi, Lisa. Did you still want to call Ronald? Or do you want me to read out your question? Why is it so hard to speak about this piece? With someone you love. I can see so much suffering in her, but she has a great difficulty opening up. Is it because she is so close and we share a history? She has had a life filled with misery and deserves this peace you speak about so much. All I can give her is my love, but I just cannot reach these deeper levels in her, just cannot go deeper into the feelings in our conversation. It looks like she's afraid of going there. This feels desperate for me. So, it's not your place to do it with her, really. Unless she is really asking you for it. That sounds a bit wrong, but unless she's really asking you to do it and to go deeper with her. If she doesn't want to go there, then that's her choice. That's for her to choose. When she's ready and when she wants to, she'll open up to this and she'll get in contact with someone that she can speak to, and she will go deeper into these feelings. From your perspective, I would investigate why it is that you want her to go deeper into it. For you. And I would stay with that. Hi Andre, hey Lisa. When I used to listen to Non-duality with another teacher, I began to change, but I remember that being around people, anxieties would come up because of the inability to resonate with them. Can this be because of anxiety? Should I proceed listening to non-duality if that's the case? I find that when I accept the person as it is, I can hear the non-duality message once again by like before. Thank you. I think you need to deal with the anxiety, and I think that the idea, Andre, of dealing with anxiety brings up anxiety in you. So if I were to say to you, you don't need to deal with it, it'd be very relaxing, and then you could just resonate with non-duality. But I think that you need to deal with it, because more than likely what the anxiety is doing is it's stopping you doing things, and you're wanting permission to stop doing things, to not face that anxiety. I really think that you need to look at it with a specialist and speak through that anxiety. And I know that's the last thing that you want to hear, and when I say it, it will most probably bring up lots of emotional discomfort, and then you'll think I'm wrong, and then you'll think that you should just resonate with non-duality, because that doesn't bring up discomfort. The problem with someone with anxiety is that they don't do things. They hide away, and it will get worse and worse, the anxiety. Like if it's social anxiety or fear of going out or whatever it is, or fear of environment. You have to face it at some point. I know it's really great to just chuck it away and just to think, I never have to deal with it. Then you can just relax and chill out and listen to non-duality and play computer games or whatever it is that you do. I go out but don't really interact. Yeah, and part of human life is interacting. It's really going to hinder. It's not so intense. Okay. Well, if the anxiety is not so intense, but I would go and get it seen to. Like go and explore that. I really would recommend it. Is it your anxiety that's holding you back from doing that? Hi Praveen. Hi Lisa. When I'm alone, I feel your teachings more than when I'm interacting with someone. I contract in my body, and separation becomes so prominent that I become too sensitive to others' actions and comments. Any suggestion on how I can maintain some sort of oneness when interacting with people? It's noticing that oneness isn't dependent on anything, that it's there even when your body contracts, even when you're in emotional discomfort. It's seeing that that freedom is still there, that it's not something that comes and goes and is dependent on how you feel. It's there all the time. So on the absolute level, it's that recognition that your freedom never comes and goes. And then on the human level, it's giving those feelings space. So it's just noticing those feelings and giving them space. That you feel embarrassed and exploring it, like embarrassed or preoccupied by what their judgment is of you, like how they judge you. And just feel that. Where is it? You feel it. Is it true? I'd say you feel it in the heart, most probably in the throat, in the solar plexus. Are you judging them? Like how is it that you look at them? Just being honest with yourself as to what you feel. Like I feel ashamed. Remembering other times when you've been ashamed. Like did you grow up with people telling you you weren't worthy, or that you were not good enough? Just feeling it and letting it in. And then seeing at the same time that your space, your freedom is all around, is everything. is the sound of the water trickling outside, it's the light, it's my voice, it's the computer, it's the cars, the aeroplane, it's everything. Hi Andrea. Hi Carmela. Hi Nick. Hi Diego. Hi Klaus. Hi Andre. I just say hello to people I haven't said hello that's written. I'm watching you now. This non-duality view can lead to a very cynic approach to life. Everything seems unavoidable. Every effort we make looks meaningless. Why swimming so hard just to let the ocean bring you everywhere? Just not doing anything seems the best thing to do. Please comment. I think it's your interpretation of non-duality that's cynical, not non-duality itself. I think non-duality is so super beautiful. It's like magic. It's love. It's absolute freedom. It's so beautiful. Like, I love the subject. This is all life happening. And I think it's your view that's cynical. So when you're hearing it, you're interpreting it as cynical and saying, there's nothing for me here. That just not doing anything seems the best thing to do, whereas humans love to create. They love to be creative and to do things. And everything seems unavoidable. Everything we look at means meaningless. Everything we make looks meaningless. That's your interpretation of it, not mine. It's not that everything's meaningless, it just doesn't have meaning. But that doesn't mean it's meaningless. It's only because you hold the two so tightly that you think if it doesn't have meaning, then it's meaningless. And that's beautiful if everything's without it meaning. That's like you see it with childlike wonder. You see it again like a child, that this life isn't the way we think it is. That everything else is so much more than the way we think it is. So maybe what's happening in you, Andrea, is that a negative perspective on life is coming out. And maybe it's a perspective on life that your mother had or that you were taught at school. Like, I would just examine your perspective on life. Like, what is it deep down, beyond what you tell yourself you want life to be? What is it deep down that you fear life is? And investigate that. Thank you. Hi Lisa, you're still live. Very nice to see you. Lisa, you communicate on so much more levels than just words. Is that something like empathy in reverse? Or maybe empathy makes it easier for you to communicate beyond words. Do you consciously do anything beyond words? It feels like I'm this immense space, and when I'm speaking, like, most of my attention is in the space, and then there's attention in the thoughts and the feelings. But when I'm speaking, it's mostly like out in everything, in the world, in everything, which is nowhere and nothing. So and then it's like this small vessel in the middle is like speaking directly at the camera. It's quite funny. and I'm not always positive that I'm making sense or that I'm communicating something. And then I notice I just drift off into silence for long periods, and I'm not even sure if I finished my sentence. Could be drawling as well at the same time, but it all seems to work, and it all seems to be coherent and fit together. Is it to do with empathy? I don't know if it's to do with empathy as such, but I do think that when people are listening to this subject, not necessarily through me, but through someone that inspires them, they begin to resonate with it. They begin to like go out of themselves, like expand back into everything. Like that contracted energy that's always like me inside the body opens up. And then they think it's the subject. I mean, really, we could be talking about motorbikes or about Khaleesi or about the sofa. Non-duality, speaking about it helps to a level, but most of it's about the energy. Like speaking about it helps break the thinking patterns, and in that there can be many expansive feelings, and it breaks like this energy that's locked up here that you think that you know, and that you know who you are, and that you're somebody that's in here, and that you're right. So it can break all those sorts of boundaries down. But then there's something else happening here. It's so free. But I don't know if I can communicate that to anyone. Hi, Diego. Hi, Klaus. Good to see you, Lisa. How can one overcome the fear of rejection? I don't think that you should overcome it as such as embrace it. I think if you have the goal of overcoming it, it will chase you. It's like that with a lot of things. It's like whenever you try to get away from your own shadow, it chases you. And I think that fear of rejection is something that we as humans have, and it's there for a reason. And I think it's something that you should embrace and feel and let it be there and let it play out and not try to hide it. And then I suspect it will pass through your body quicker. Just in noticing it will shift it. Just in noticing that you have that and admitting it to yourself. Hi, Lisa. Sorry, Klaus. On the human level, though, on a practical note of what you can do, but not to get rid of it, not with the goal of getting rid of it, it's just explore it. Like try and go deep into it. Like when it started, how it started, why it started, why you don't want it, how it affects you. Just get to know it. So just embrace it, just really allow it in and see it as a friend. Like see it as in there, in that fear of rejection. It's trying to help you in some way. It's trying to stop you experiencing pain, but initially it was trying to help you, and maybe it's become a hindrance now, but it initially was there to try to navigate this life. Thank you, Klaus. Hi, Marie. Oh, I'm slipping down the sofa, I see. It gets smaller and smaller. Soon it will just be my eyes. Like. Hi, Lisa. What I find difficult to deal with is when I feel that someone very close to me is lying to themselves and I cannot relate what I feel coming from them and what they are saying they feel. You have the feeling that something is not quite right or authentic but cannot do anything about it. Over time, it comes so draining to me, even though I feel like it shouldn't be that painful. I wonder what is the mechanism that makes it so important to be attuned to people to feel all right. I wonder what your thoughts about it are. I think that that's really common in our society. Like I think that most people are not being their authentic self and don't know what they feel and don't know what they think. I think most probably why you have opposition to it and why you don't like it is because partly you can feel it, so when you're speaking to them you can feel the tension, and secondly because more than likely you're an empath and you've grown up your whole life being denied truth, being told that what you feel or what you think is wrong and what they feel and think is right. And so there's most probably a warrior part in you that wants truth, because you've been gaslighted a lot by people that you like. So say your mom, she's been angry or she's been embarrassed by you or something, and she doesn't say, and she keeps it in herself, and then if you try and confront her, she completely denies it. And you can feel that energy. And then when that happens repetitively, then I presume there becomes a little part of you that's a warrior that wants to break down those bridges. But in the end, people are going to do what they do, and most people in our society are unconscious. So what you've got to come to peace with is those feelings and that discomfort that arises when someone's not being honest, and see that your true freedom is the space which is around it all. And sometimes you can confront it, sometimes you can speak to them about it, but sometimes you can't, and it's accepting both of those possibilities. And then you can also focus on what it is you want. What you want in your life is truth and honesty, and the more that you put this positive feeling out there that that's going to come about and that's going to happen, the more that you'll begin to meet positive and truthful people. The more that you keep thinking that everybody that you meet is dishonest or isn't going to be honest or isn't going to be authentic, the more that's what you'll attract. So it's like recognizing all these things, being honest with yourself, and then also trying to pick up your vibration that feels like it will meet these people that are honest and authentic and can really speak to you on a deeper level. And knowing that that's possible, that magic, that just by desiring it, that can come forward. You can meet these inspirational people. Thank you, Marie. Hi, Andre. Hi, Thane. I used to be cynical, but then I came to see that my cynicism was a defense against disappointment and hurt. It was a resistance to life. Now I dare to be more hopeful. Yeah, totally. And it's really good for your chakra system as well. So most humans' chakra is always in the negative. And I'm not a teacher that's into positive thinking and teaching you to think positively, but most of our society is in the negative. So I see the benefit of daring to go to the opposite. So the belief that you're always going to meet people that lie or cheat or something, or that society isn't trustworthy. It's like feeling that feeling, acknowledging it's there, but then dare to imagine what it is that you'd actually like for society, and begin to get that creative, playful feeling that you got as a child when you were playing. And what that does is it's training the chakra to go more into the positive. And it's all about training. It's all about habit, like where your habit lies on the thinking level. Like if your habit is to be negative, then that's what will come about. If your habit is to be more positive, then that will come about. And it's not that you always want to be in the positive. The negative is there for a reason. So when you're going into a direction of people that lie and are dishonest, your body will contract because it's saying move away from these people. And then when you're with people that are more positive, your body opens up because it's like, yes, these people are better to be around. And then predominantly your chakra will move more to being in neutral, and then it will just be relaxed and easy, and then it will just move from one to the other when it needs to. Contraction when you're not in the right circumstance, and then openness when you're in the right circumstance. So I don't teach positive thinking as such, but it's when I'm working with people, it's something that I try to do. I get them to be honest, I get them to say what their chakra is actually feeling, and then I try to encourage them to go to the opposite. I try to encourage them to see the connections of how that affects your life. Because if you're always feeling that you're a failure, you're going to keep going in the direction where you fail. You're going to keep attracting people that see you in that light. If you feel the failure, you're not going to attract people that are like, woohoo, you're brilliant. Hi, Natalia. Hello, Lisa. So how fear of rejection helps us, how it navigates us in directions not to do something. Yeah, like, have any of you guys watched The Voice? Like, some people that go onto that, they have such false delusions about themselves, and it's painful to watch. And I feel sorry and I feel empathy for some of the people that go on there, and they're really terrible singers and they're really terrible dancers, and everybody's laughing at them. Like, it's good to be realistic about what your skills are and what your skills aren't, and to put focus on what you are skilled at. It doesn't mean that you can't dance as if nobody's watching, and you can't sing as if nobody's watching. That's also beautiful. And there's a phase where you go through making a fool of yourself just to test and see what happens. But it is also there to stop you walking around with your pants caught in your underwear for the whole day, or for toilet paper stuck to your shoe. Or it makes us more conscious about what we present to society, and that has its relevance. It's important not to do a poo on the seat when you're having dinner. It becomes very stinky. Me and Khaleesi have had many conversations about this. No, actually, Khaleesi never does her business inside, actually. She's very strict about that. But the reason that I'm encouraging you to find positive things in your dynamics is because you can go deep into it, you can explore it, but also to be more positive about yourself. Most spiritual seekers or people that I come across have such low opinions of themselves. But note that you're not bad, or you're not wrong, or you're not like in a terrible mess. It's just that you've not been given the right information and your system's in overload. But initially, it was actually trying to make things better for you. But it made things worse for you because your mind is set up to find problems. So it's always finding problems, the mind, and it never ends. And then you've focused on something that's always trying to find problems and never ends. And there's also this whole extra bit of the body. It's not just here. There's also your heart, your throat, your crown chakra, your legs, your groin, your stomach. There's all these sensations appearing and happening. Thank you, I will investigate. Hi Daniel. Hi Lisa, can I call? Yes, as long as you've got good internet and you've got your headset. Just let me put on loop back. It's on. Just call when you're ready. This is a really sweet question from Michael. Hello.
Hello, Lisa.
Hello. Hang on, there's a mistake. I have a mistake. Just 1 second. I just have to find out what the mistake is. You're coming through my computer.
Okay, yeah.
1 second. There you go. It should be fixed now. Hello? There we go. It's fixed. Nice.
Okay.
What can I do for you today?
I called you 1 week earlier.
Yeah.
I had no headphones.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and I have these 2 important questions for me.
Yeah.
If you know this fever in your body.
Oh, yeah, you wrote this to me, and I don't know.
When it gets warm and every part of your body is like fever, like 40 or 50 degrees, I don't know.
No, I don't know that.
You do?
No.
No?
Unless I'm sick.
No, not sick. It's like a glow.
No, I don't know that.
And I really get cooked by that.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Okay, and I puke all the time. Like these bubbles coming out.
You're being sick?
No.
You what, sorry?
No, I'm not sick. I'm not sick. Hopeful.
But what did you say? You puke or bubbles are
Or
coming out?
vomit, like like 7 years. I do every day, like these bubbles coming out of my mouth.
Oh yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. I've not experienced that before.
Okay.
But if it feels good, then sorry, I've just got a helicopter
Okay.
coming over, very low.
Okay. Sorry for my questions.
That's okay. You've not got anything to apologize about. It's just I can't relate, so I can't speak about it with you.
Okay, yeah, okay. Okay.
Nice.
Lisa, nice. Thanks for your answers.
That's okay. Thank you for calling.
Okay, bye.
Bye. What does the energy of the 100 or so people watching live right now feel like, if I may ask? I can't feel that, Nick. I can't always feel things, but I can't feel that, actually. I think that's sometimes why I like speaking online, is because I'm not picking up people's energy so much. When I'm doing a live talk with people in the room, I pick up their energy big time. But I can't actually feel people's energy. Now, sometimes I can when I'm interacting with someone, but I can't actually feel it. It just feels very expanded. Like my essence feels very big. And then on the human level, there is like maybe a little tension here. There is like a bubbly feeling in my heart. Like my body feels very alive, like a lot of energy in it. Yes, that's all I feel at the moment. Hi, Thane. Peaceful. Hi, Carmela. Thank you. Lots of love to you. Lots of love to you, Camilla. Nice. I did all the questions. Okay, well, I think that's enough for today. We're coming to the end. So I'm away for now a whole month till the 4th of September. So I wish you a really beautiful August. I might upload some videos. I have some videos of when I did talks in Sweden last month. So they won't be at any specific time, but if you want to not miss them, then subscribe to my channel and click the bell, and then you'll get notifications about when I upload. But most probably I won't be uploading very much for the next month at all. I take a break. Thank you very much, and I send you lots of love. I wish you well. Bye.